Hey everybody, Father Peter here. Welcome to my video log. I'm so delighted we have Kit Devereaux with us today. Kit, welcome.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.
So for those out there in TV land who might not know it, Kit, you are really, by every stretch of the imagination, except perhaps your own, an extraordinary human being who has really lived to give for the love of the Lord. You have served your community, you have served your church, and now we all get the shocking news that you're going to move to Annapolis to be with your daughter, grandchild, and old friends. So just want to say right up front, Kit, that we all have a great love for you, and we're sorry you're leaving, but we're really psyched that you're going to take a moment to talk to us.
My pleasure.
So, Kit, you have been involved in public service for many years. You were 33 votes from being the first select man. I think that's sort of funny that our community has a select men versus select women, or perhaps mayor. And yet you have served on the leadership council of our town. You've served on the leadership council of your neighborhood. You've overseen committees. I wonder if you could just say a word to us about what it's been like for you to be in public service and the sorts of rewards that you get out of that.
Well, I think the important word there is rewards, because it is tremendously rewarding. I have not done anything that I didn't really want to do and really enjoy. So it's not been any kind of a problem or an issue or anything. It's just been a joy.
Well, holy smokes, it's hard for me to believe you're saying that, Kit. You have been involved with some very difficult decisions and dilemmas in our community, some fired up personalities who are advocating for their way, and you've always been a person of peace in the midst of that, just always having a love for others to bring to that. So the fact you said it was always a joy, that's hard for me to believe.
No, really. There was at one point on the town council where it stopped being a joy. And so I stopped being on the, I didn't run again then. That was it. But that's when I was threatened with being sued a couple of times.
Yeah, that's always fun. Yeah. Most of us miss that in school, what to do when someone threatens your lawsuit. So you have been a devoted and devout member of our church for so long, and the Lord's call to us to love the Lord our God with all our heart and our mind and our soul and our neighbor as ourselves. You have just spent so much time loving your neighbor in organized ways. Has that been something that's really been an impetus for you in your life, or is that just you're just doing it because you do it?
I just doing it because I do it. But I think that St. Mark's is such a remarkable community that it just right within the community is the same thing that I'm doing on town council and Board of Selectmen. It's all about people, great people.
Yeah. At our parish church, of course, you sing in the alto section next to my wife.
Who I love.
Yeah, boy, is she gonna miss you so much. It's terrible. And you've also overseen our Mayfair, which is about as easy as overseeing the invasion of another country. And you've done it with incredible grace. Any word about what that's been like to be in service in holding together such a kind of crazy, wild, peopled animal with 500 volunteers and different heads and, thousands of people coming?
I think most of the people working at Mayfair do it because they love it. There is such fellowship and camaraderie and fun that it's not to be missed. And this year, I think a lot of people missed being able to work.
Yeah. Once again, that's one of the kind of crazy things, invisible laws of the spiritual life. Jesus said it in the Acts of the Apostles. It's more blessed to give than to receive. That it isn't giving that we find that we gain. Just to summarize a little bit of that from the prayer attributed to St. Francis. So that has been your life, and that's why we're all so brokenhearted that you're moving to Annapolis, because you've cast your bread upon the water, and you've done it in the public forum. I wonder if you could say just a word about politics. So in 1968, you were with Hubert Humphrey traveling about in a presidential campaign. the United States exploded in 1968. It really did, and we are in our own sort of explosive time. I wonder if you have any thoughts about comparing 1968 and 2020.
Well, at the time I was a young in my 20s, young woman. If I hadn't have been working for Hubert Humphrey, I would certainly have been working for Eugene McCarthy. But I was in Chicago when the riots happened. I was at the Leamington Hotel when all the tear gas was going. And again, it was just an overwhelmingly interesting and fun experience, not the riots, but the campaign itself. And I thought Hubert Humphrey was great.
Yeah. I don't get a lot of sentences like I was there when the tear gas and it was overwhelmingly fun. I kind of like that. When you were there in the tear gas and in the kind of in the civil unrest of the time, and now you look at the civil unrest that is happening in our country today, do you draw any kind of parallels? Do you have any kind of empathy for or scariness with or any of that? Or was that then and this is now?
I think they were a bit different. And I think now is so very, very serious. It was serious then, but it was more anti-war. And
Right.
now we're dealing with human rights. And I think many of us are doing a lot of reading about things like white rage, white fragility, etc., and coming to terms with a racism that we didn't really understand. And so I think what's going on now is so important. I mean, no one likes civil unrest, but sometimes it's the only way to get change.
Yeah. Well, certainly things are breaking apart so that hopefully they can all be put back together again for a better, more inclusive society, so that the all men of all men created equal with inalienable rights can include everybody in that. Do you have any hopes that you think about with this as you pursue your reading or you pursue your work or thinking about your life and where the country's headed?
Well, I mean, I hope that we're going to come out of this a much fairer society. It's just so sad when you read about it. And I think about mothers, Black mothers, bringing up their kids into this society, which hopefully is changing. And it just is beyond my imagining.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm capable of imagining.
Yeah. Well, one of the things that's beautiful is you have a heart for trying to imagine, which is, I think, in some degree, the best that we can all do is to cast our hearts toward, to lean in and not lean away. The Episcopal Church, which is embedded in the Anglican tradition, has a lean inness into public life. During the prayers of the people every Sunday, we pray for our nation and for all in authority. And we also pray for the concerns of our local community. I wonder, as you prepare to hook up your truck and head off to Maryland, any sort of concerns you have for local community or for the nation that are on your heart and that which you think about?
Locally, I really wish that our town government could be more open to what it is that people want, rather than what we think they should have. Because I see that happening, and it makes me not only sad but a little bit mad.
Yeah, interesting. Well, we're so all of us sorry that you're leaving, because you have brought such a humanity to your work here in our community. And the glory of God as a human being fully alive, and the aliveness of your humanity has meant a great buffer zone in our community. And so we're sorry about that. We're also gonna miss Lewis, and I wonder if you might give us an update on who Lewis is and how Lewis is doing.
Lewis is my son. He's a white poodle. And my obsession. And he got dealt a very bad hand on the health side of things. And it's a day-to-day sort of thing. I wonder sometimes if he'll actually make it to Annapolis with us, but he's dearly loved.
Wow. Oh, for sure. Oh, for sure, for sure. What I mean, the great thing about Lewis is that Lewis, like a human being, a four-legged human being, is not possible to sum up. But Lewis also, not only have you devoted your life to Lewis, but given that Lewis is named after Louis Armstrong, and your husband Robert's absolutely voluminous knowledge and expansive knowledge of the American jazz tradition, and Louis Armstrong in particular, makes the name Lewis resonate with great meaning when you see you and your sidekick. So we're going to miss you and your sidekick. Also, just to finish up here, to say how grateful and thankful we are for you, for who you are, mostly for who you are, also for what you've done, but for mostly who you are. You have been an incredible human being in our midst, just a great leader in our midst, and a great lover of people and individuals in our midst. And we are crazy grateful to you. So we wish you Godspeed, and we wish you all of the absolutely fantastic karma that could ever come your way, because you have cast your bread upon the water. You've cast your love upon the water, and we hope that you feed upon it as you and Robert, and hopefully Louis, pack up to go live with your family down in Maryland. So
thank you for all those kind words. And let me say that I think St. Mark's is just the best church. And I can't imagine ever finding a church to replace it in my heart. And I love the congregation. I love you. I love Justin. I love Elizabeth. And it's a great institution. Thank you for making it so.
It is Hotel California, right? So you can check out, but you can never really leave. Given the Zoom world and the streaming world we all live in, we're just going to consider you a member from Maryland. What the heck? It's a whole new world out there. We have members from all over the world at this point, and so we're not even taking you off the active role.
Thank you. Don't.
Anyway, yeah, you're still one of us, as you always will be.
I want to be.
Peace and blessings to you and to your crew, and thanks again. And can't wait to see you in the days before you take off. And then, of course, after that, given that you're still going to be a member.
Thank you.
You bet. Peace. Take care, everybody.